When Hurricane Andrew hit South Florida, a lot of people needed help. One man in Miami is being hailed as a hero for the job he did by broadcasting vital information along with key advice on both TV and radio simultaneously. WTVJ meteorologist Bryan Norcross may have saved countless lives.
Well, you need to do everything you can to hold that door in, Madeline, and you all get all your might behind that.
Bryan Norcross was on the air for 23 hours on both radio and television, telling people how to survive.
We're going to stick this out, and we're going to stick together, and we're going to make it through it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, well, will you go ahead and get in that bathroom?
We were in such a panic at the one point in the closet that if it wasn't for Bryan's verbal command to get into the safe room like a tub, who knows what could have happened to us.
There was also praise for Bryan from many Florida newspapers and thousands of residents who credit him with talking South Florida through the crisis. And one homeowner used his rooftop to send a message of thanks, even if he didn't quite get Bryan's name right. Now from WTVJ in Miami, good morning, Bryan.
Good morning, Jackie.
Nice to have you here. You've been working round the clock before, during, and after the hurricane. What's it been like for you this past week?
Well, it hasn't been a week. It's amazing. This all started here just about a week ago now. Saturday morning, we sat down and knew that trouble was coming, and we really did not know how bad it was going to be, though. And then in earnest, we started Sunday morning. The storm hit overnight Sunday night, Monday morning, and it really has been absolutely nonstop for not just for me and my colleagues here at WTVJ, of course, but the folks down in South Dade. Some of them went 72 hours before they got a bit of sleep.
You know, I was in Miami just last week, and I felt that this was just more than a community thing. It was a personal thing for you, and people really praised you for that. Was it personal?
Well, it was only personal in the fact that it became apparent that this was going to be a crisis of unprecedented proportions, and personally, you know, I wanted to be sure that I did the best I could do, and as a station, we wanted to do the best we could do. But it really was a culmination of a 3-year effort here, since I've been working here at WTVJ, to be sure that we were as prepared as possible. We bought the necessary equipment. We put in the necessary combinations with the radio station, Y100 down here, to be sure that we could be on radio for the folks that lost power. We did the best hurricane preparedness booklets that had ever been done, hurricane specials every year. So it was the end of a long 3-year plan, and unfortunately it turned out to be a disaster of these proportions. But we were ready for a hurricane, as ready as we could be, and that's what counted.
But a lot of families credit you with saving their lives, like the one we saw on video, the Fagan family. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the whole story changed as we went through the day that Sunday. It started out to be a Category 2 hurricane. The winds were 110 miles an hour or so, and it was clear that for someone, not necessarily right here in Miami, maybe up the coast, Palm Beach or something, but for someone it was going to be a bad day. But we didn't know at that point that it was going to be a catastrophic day. And then slowly the storm built and built and built, and we got into life-saving mode. How we were going to tell people, what we were going to say so that they could save their lives. And we were desperately racking our brains to figure out what is the bottom line. Forget the house, forget everything you know. You just got to save your life. And thankfully, so many folks listened and did it, and we had, you know, we lost lives, but not as many as we could have.
You did save a lot of lives, Bryan. Bryan, looking back now, you talked about the preparation for the past 3 years for this hurricane. Do you think people were just not expecting the big one to hit?
No, they weren't. There's no question they weren't. They weren't on a lot of levels. The people that were away from the water thought they were safe inland. As a city, we weren't ready. We allowed houses to be built here over the past 20 years or so that just could not withstand probably even a weaker hurricane than this. And we're going to be a better city for this. We're going to know how to build houses, and the city has a whole different spirit that Miami is not the homogeneous city, as you know, Jackie.
Right.
And it is not the city it was before Hurricane Andrew. People are talking, people are getting along, people are knowing each other like they never did before.
There's a unity in the community that I haven't seen before
Never.
in Miami.
Never.
And it's really nice to see. Bryan, one last question. I talked to many residents, many people in the streets in Miami. They consider you a hero. How do you feel?
Well, I'm proud of our effort here at the television station. I'm just happy as I can be that so many people made it through an incredible situation. If you haven't seen it in person, there's nothing to ever compare with this. And I'm proud of what we did here.
And we're very proud of you also. Thank you very much for being with us here this morning. We're very proud of you,
Jackie.
Bryan. And we'll be right back after these messages on the Today Show. Don't go away.